Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Dean Rogers. Welcome to another episode of Deals with Dean. Today, I'm going to talk about a deal that we made a fat profit of a $79,000 wholesale deal. Let's go. All right, welcome back. Let's get into the details here. Before we get started, if you could hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, it would help us a lot to support the channel. Okay, so on this deal, we had a lead come in that was out of our normal area. And we weren't sure if the numbers really made sense, but we knew we had it at a low price compared to what we thought the ARV was. So we thought we were onto something. There was a moment there where we weren't sure if we wanted to send a driver out, right? It was really far. What were we going to do? But then I remembered I had a buyer that was in that area that was really good and we had worked with before. And chances are he'd be interested to go out there, take his contractor, get us a bid. So that's exactly what I did. Called him, let him know about the property, what the situation was, and that it would actually help us if he went out, got first dibs on the property by sending his contractor and coming up with an offer. Now, in this case, we didn't actually give him a number that we wanted. We wanted him to let us know because we weren't confident on what the number needed to be. So we coordinated the appointment between the seller and the buyer's contractor. We're able to get the appointment. The buyer took the pictures, sent those to us so that we understood what the condition of the property was and really what we were negotiating, and then jump back on the phone with the buyer. Now, the buyer liked the property. He understood that the property had a lot of deferred maintenance, needed a lot of work, but the numbers were there to support it. So we started talking numbers, and his initial offer was $85,000 higher than what we had it under contract. So I knew we were on to something. As we kept talking, he said, I don't want to nickel and dime you. I'd really be more comfortable if I was $6,000 less, which brought us to $79,000. Because we had a good spread, because I knew that this buyer was solid and was going to give me the confidence to get this deal done, I went ahead and accepted that, and we got it signed for the assignment contract. As you know, the deal doesn't magically stop there and the money hits your bank account. You got to make sure you get the deal through escrow. Now, the deal on this one was the seller was old school. He had to drive, 30 or 40 minutes to get into town just to sign documents, to get information that title needed for, the mortgage and for the correct ownership of the property because he had inherited it, right? There was some extra legwork that we had to kind of push the seller along to get the wheels churning and get it through escrow. Now, the other part of this that was a little bit tricky was the title company that was running our escrow actually recently had changed one of their rules where if your assignment fee was exceeding a certain percentage of the purchase price, that you either had to get an approval or you just needed to have the excess amount that was being made paid outside of escrow. Now, usually that is a huge red flag and a huge problem because you don't want to have to rely on the buyer to, in good faith, pay you outside of escrow. Regardless of a contract or not, you don't want to chase someone down for money. Thankfully, I'd worked with this buyer before, had a lot of trust in him that he would stand by his word and get the deal done and send us the funds outside of escrow. So I went ahead and moved forward with it. Now in our assignment contract, I detailed the fact that $29,000 will be paid through escrow and $50,000 would be paid directly to us through a wire the day of closing from the buyer. So flash forward to closing day, we get the property closed, $29,000 hits our account from escrow, and I'm waiting for the wire to hit from the buyer. I went ahead and sent him a text. We got escrow closed. That's awesome. He responded, sounds good, right? I'm sitting there and waiting. Okay, when are you going to send the wire? And I'm messaging him because I want to make sure those funds hit the same day. Well, he waited until like 1:57 until the wire cut off at 2 o'clock happened to send the $50,000, which he did, and then that money hit our account. Now, normally I wouldn't be pestering someone to send us the money even though they need to do it, but this was a monumental moment for us because this was the first time where I had $1 million in cash in the bank that was ours, wasn't because of a loan or anything else, but truly our money in the bank. So I have to say it was pretty cool to hit that milestone, right? It's one of those things that kind of gives you a mental shift, knowing that you can do it, knowing that it's possible, and then you start setting new targets and goals, of course. All right, well, that wraps up this episode of Deals with Dean. I hope you enjoyed it. There were some cool, fun moments throughout the process. Not only was it a great, awesome wholesale deal, but it was a monumental part of us hitting a certain milestone in our business and having a certain amount of money in the bank. So I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, peace.